Joining us now to talk from a veteran's perspective is retired Army Captain, Purple Heart recipient, and Nevada Senate candidate Sam Brown, along with Marine Corps veteran, Afghan war combat veteran, and former Trump administration official Adam Kordenowski. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good evening.
All right, so I want to get your perspective of something that we've been talking about. This almost feels like a trigger event for many who are seeing this, many who have been involved in Afghanistan or in the Middle East in some way. What do you think about what you are seeing right now? Adam, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, a lot of veterans, a lot of my friends especially, are really struggling with the events that have been unfolding in the last few days, especially after the complex attack that we saw in Kabul airfield. It's been a really troubling time, and that's why I think, especially on social media, you've been seeing a lot of people trying to reach out to their friends and families and making sure everybody's okay.
Sam?
Yeah, I'd agree. A lot of the reaction I'm seeing is folks that are just trying to separate themselves from the results that we see now. Their service, the things that we did while we were there, was done to either protect the men and women that served with us and do the best we could for the Afghans that we were there to serve as well. And so what I'm hearing and seeing people do is also just try and just go back to that anchor point, which is we were there to do the best we could and to help people, and that the consequences of poor leadership decisions and ultimately catastrophic failures doesn't lie on our service.
Adam, as we see some of the horrific images of Afghanis and these SIV applicants, many of them have been interpreters, and so many soldiers have stories of these people who have helped them, their allies, our allies on the ground. What is it like for you to watch that happen and see some of these people struggle so much?
So it's very complicated because, especially with the SIV, the special immigrant visas, there are persons who are trying to get to the airport. It's very troubling. It's very disturbing images to see, literally thousands of people trying to move to Kabul airfield to try to get out of the country. A lot of people are very terrified of what's going to happen to the Taliban. And, there's already rumors of purges that are already occurring by the Taliban. So, one can't blame them necessarily for wanting to get out of the country.
Sam, many people have called on military leaders to resign, to step down. How much of this do you think is on the Biden administration, and how much of this is on military leadership?
I think that this is an example of a dual failure. The Biden administration ultimately is the one that sets the terms and dictates to our military leaders what will be accomplished. But as this has really unfolded, we've seen that there was a fairly large amount of pushback against President Biden as he was making this decision, both from the intelligence community and also from the military leaders. And at the end of the day, if you believe that there is going to be a catastrophic failure of this magnitude, which I think many people are rightly saying is one of the most horrific foreign policy blunders in modern American history, then I think you should probably be willing to stand up and leave out of protest if you're not being heard.
Adam, many people have criticized President Biden, even President Trump at times, for wanting to leave Afghanistan, saying we should have left some kind of presence. What's your take?
So I'm actually on more pulling out of Afghanistan completely. So, we're starting to really spin our wheels here. The Afghan military wasn't really capable of standing for itself, and we've spent multi-trillions of dollars in that country. The Trump plan was originally to have some sort of force there to act as kind of a stick to the carrot of allowing the country to be independent. And we, the administration, the Biden administration, has done a very poor job of actually executing on any sort of path of semblance of stability for the region.
Sam, we saw the Biden administration have that airstrike on ISIS-K in the past 24 hours in retaliation for the 13 fallen heroes. Was that enough? Do you want to see more?
I don't think that's enough. And I think that it's fair for the American people to, wonder if that wasn't a political move to say that they struck the planners of this ISIS-K attack, when we even have the Pentagon, disagreeing with other analysis, saying that maybe the Taliban was involved, maybe it wasn't just ISIS-K. So I think that right now our leaders have lost a lot of credibility. It's hard to know what's true, what's not true. This is obviously a dynamic situation. And unfortunately, what could have been somewhat mitigated if we hadn't left so many weapons and arms there the way the Biden administration did, we now have an incredibly well-armed force that we are going to have to deal with, the world will have to contend with for years to come.
It is concerning to see those Taliban members holding U.S. weaponry, flying U.S. planes around the country there. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your service and sacrifice to this country, and thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you.